Hello, it's the 15th of February. So following on from the terribly cold weather, we now have dismal rain. There's nothing worse than rain, I think. Sometimes it really does stop you in your tracks, stops you doing what you want to do. So I'm in the greenhouse at the moment and just catching up with what's growing and what isn't growing. Lots of inactivity at the moment, and I know the reason why for some of it. Sweet peas still do incredibly well. Left hand side have been pinched out, right hand side haven't yet. They probably will be due to be done in about a week's time. Coming across at the back, we've got the foxgloves. So I seem to have not spread those around very well, or forgot to put some in that very first coir pot. Now the loofahs, I didn't read the instructions, so no action on the loofahs because I should have soaked them for 48 hours before I potted them on. So I'm going to pop them into some water for the next 48 hours. Then we might see some germination. So since I last spoke to you, we have gone on and potted a lot more lupins. Now I've done these in single cells because I did put them in a seed tray, and then I remembered last year it was a nightmare pricking them out. I've also got overexcited with chard. I'm after a peppermint chard but have not been able to get the seeds for these at the moment. So I've got this end, I've got the Verde Argentinian white one, which was on offer, so was £1.50 a packet. Let's hope they come up. And then I've gone for the bright lights. I love those. I love planting them in my perennial borders. Now coming across, we have my Cosmos. Now with these Cosmos, I've just been doing a giveaway on Instagram. So if any of you are watching this, hop over to my Instagram page, Heidi in the Country. I'm going to keep that running until tomorrow. Just kick the paraffin. So these little houses you can see here are not horticulture. They are actually decorators, and they are for in paint buckets and paste buckets. But they're on offer and being used, so I'm using them to do this instead. I can't tell you if they're successful because at the moment we have got a slow takeoff rate. Nothing from the tomatoes. We have still got the lobelia coming through, excuse the reflection. Tomatoes here and courgettes. Nothing yet. The other lobelia, this was the Crystal Palace. There's a little smattering of them if you have a look in there, so that's good. The Amaranthus, I don't know if you can see them in there. They are up. No honesty yet, it's only been another week. The white daisy, that we have no idea what that is. I've got 2 up. Can you see them? Oh, no, I can see 4. How exciting. Coming down here, we've got the perennials. We've got the peonies, sorry. We talked about these last week. This one's shooting on, and that's doing really well. The delphiniums are not liking it in the greenhouse, but it was just too cold last week, so I made the decision to keep them in here. I think I have actually lost one, but there we go. Now under all of these half Coke bottles are lilies, and these are the calla lilies. I'm hoping they will survive. I'm not sure. Never done it with those before. Geums are loving it in the greenhouse, but really they should be outside. And then I've got, and I know it's early, but Mrs. Hooper's _chooks. She recommended getting the pumpkins in early for the Atlantic Giants. So I am cracking on with those. Now these are going in the compost heaps. So it sounds weird, but my compost heaps are really well rotting down. They've been cut up with the shredder. You might have seen that if you've been on my Insta page. And I'm going to plant the pumpkins in there because it's very nutritious, should stay moist, and it gives them plenty of room to sort of rampage rather than being confined to a bed. Agapanthuses are still overwintering well. And then these are the specialist cosmoses from my friend at Mrs. Hooper's _ Chooks. Mrs. Claire Hooper. Oh, excuse me. These are the lupins that I popped in, and I think there is a sprout there. Where is it? Can I get him in there? There, somewhere in there. I think there's 3 to each of these. I don't know why I did that. It's going to be a pain to dig these out. Musselburgh leeks. I've just chucked loads of leeks in there. They're okay to thin out once they get to sort of pencil size, and then they'll go in the garden. And then here we've got the natives cowslips. So all in all, not a huge success in here. Still loads of seeds to sow. And we will head out to the garden. Oh, this is the, excuse my guttering, this is for the greenhouse to capture some of this water. This here is the sheep's wool slug pellets. I don't want to use the commercial slug pellets anymore. Wildlife's far more important to me. So I'm going to try this. And this is a bargain price at the moment in your local B&Q. I think it was 5 litre tub for £2. So I bought several of them, and I've been putting it around things like the hostas, anything that's delicate, and it will go on my raised beds. Is it raining? We may have escaped the rain for a bit. I can't believe how much the rose bushes are coming on. Oh, there I am. Hello. Rose bushes are coming on under the thatch. It really is giving them some great protection. And the herb bed. We've managed to pick a few things from here over the last week. I've picked some mint for my gin. This rose bush as well. This is doing well, but I'm going to have to keep an eye on that because we don't want them getting black fly or anything. So I picked up some more of the lanterns that were on offer in B&Q, and they're performing really well. I can't believe it, considering the low light levels. The well renovation. I think all the bulbs in there have gone blind. We'll wait and see. I think digging them up and moving them when we didn't bode well. These tiles have been dug up in the back where the allotment is, and they will sit under my old Christmas doormat here, so we can bury this awful sky wire I should say, that is trailing round what will be the rose and the peony garden. Performing well, unbelievably well, as still the snowdrops, and there is just drifts of them. The camera just struggles to pick them up, unfortunately. They did not like the cold weather. I have another bay tree here, which is doing well, even though it's got loads of suckers on the bottom, which I will kill off. Going through the hedge, daffodils again, and going through to the snowdrops. This bed, daffodils are going to be predominant in here. So these pots were galvanised, and when we first moved in I hit them with some Hammerite. It's the black textured Hammerite. Had 2 coats, possibly needs 3, but performed well through the winter. Down here we've got a couple of the old fireplaces grates. These were out here when we moved in, and we've left them because we don't really need them in the cottage. We have a wood burner. This bed is looking really sad. The poor primroses have really struggled with the extreme cold. Very pleased with this. Super Trooper. It has a good fragrance apparently, so we'll wait and see. I will do you a sniff test. But we have a fatality in the roses by the look of it. This is Rose Antique Delight, which is gutting. This isn't one of the David Austin ones. This is one of my bargain basement ones. It's gone, I think. It's got 2 chances, isn't it? And this way, the Buxus is looking quite nice. That's an unusual view across the garden. I don't normally stand here. Washing line looks awful, doesn't it? We come down the side here, try and capture the side of the cottage. So there is an old stone plinth in there, which we will dig out once we get chance and use. And then this is the most incredible gable end to this cottage. I don't think you can see it, but it does curve out. And that is my son's bedroom. And then that's looking down the drive to the road. Some of these plants are still yet to know what they are. This little border here, I've done a little bit of work on, and this will be underplanted again with shade loving plants, because this gets hit a little bit by shade. Flowers with the little birdie box there, which we've got quite a few of. This stunning ancient apple tree has had a really hard prune this year. Really hard prune, just to bring it back into shape. Snaggy bits there. It's got lots of damage from previous prunings and no buds yet on it. Oh no, there's a few there. It's a shame really that it is so out of shape, but hopefully we'll be able to do something with it. Now this wall is going to be one of the jobs for spring when it dries up, and this will go back to cream or white to match the cottage, but the woodwork will stay the same. And then these doors are very brown. I'm thinking sage green, but we haven't made our minds up yet. Now this was an Ergon apple, beautiful eating, but as you can see, during the 7 to 10 years of neglect for the garden, it's moved itself away from the building. Now this is another thing that my husband wants removed, but I kind of like it ducking under it, and it was actually giving us some lovely shade for my office when the sun did hit here. Under here we've got the cinnamon Helleborus again. This one's just coming out, and we're underneath the camellia, which is so close to coming out. See if I can get you a flower. That's the cinnamon. And one of the bird's nests have come down. So in one of these stables is my office. I'll show you very quickly and briefly. And I use this for crafting, and I'm just working on a commission at the moment. So the other side of that has been beautifully painted. Now this is a sigil for protection of animals, and as this lady has got lots of hens, I thought it right that we do a protection for them. It's cosy doing them there. The water bat at the moment with this hose pipe doesn't look pretty, but I'm using that to top up the pond. We had lots of rain overnight and this area was flooding, so I'm using it just to top up the pond, which has been under a lot of ice. It's still slowly coming out. Look at these crocuses, aren't they just a joy? Again, the frost got the best of them. I love this hooper at the back here. This was one I bought for my little other garden. I forget the name of it. What is this one? Ah, it's a cranberry one. And then under here, it will look beautiful with the red maple. This bamboo, not the most attractive of plants. We've cut it right back, but I'll probably do a little bit more with it. Right, coming through here. Can't remember which variety of viburnum this one is. Oh gosh, good luck with that. I can't pronounce that. And I've got two of those, and this one's not out yet. And then the other one on the other side of the garden is. We've got a buddleia. This was beautiful. This is the very dark purple one. Into a Hebe. Again, I'm resting my judgment for this one. See what it does, how it performs, but it is right in full view of the back of the cottage. So it has to do something spectacular to keep its place there. This is a mallow with underplantings of lots of forget-me-nots, some more cinnamon, some bulbs in the back here. I forget what was here. And then this was a Weigelia that I have literally cut back hard, but it seems to be, oh look at it, little buds, can I focus, are coming. Keys to the chapel. So when we purchased this property, we found out we had to pay a chapel tax, and the chapel tax is to do the repairs on the local chapel, which is at the end of the road. We paid the insurance, which will cover us, so that means that if anything happens to the roof of the chapel, we won't have to pay because we paid an insurance to protect us. There it is. There's my white pumpkin that's been at the front door since October, October the 12th. I'm going to rescue those seeds. The girls have had a really, really good chomp on it. They didn't like the cold weather. They're still laying quite well though, but the cold weather, nope, wasn't for them. So bark cheppins have been laid, which has made it much better to walk down here. We're just going to do these in front of the shed to make that a bit drier. And then if we come across around the back of the shed, where all the hose pipes are, you can see the back of the chicken run, which goes right the way back to where we were at that other gate. So they have a huge run. Slowly getting the brambles down, so we're going to bring the brambles down to this height and then cut these back. One of the trees that came down in the winds recently at the back there. We'll walk the back way of this. So soil getting ready for when we do our potatoes. The brambles at the back here, as you can see, it's not attractive and it's really thick, so we just need to get that down with that branch. Coming through, leeks are still hanging on in there. I am slowly harvesting them. We're having chicken and leek pie today, so they will all be gone. Gosh, another branch that came down. Nothing been done to the paddock yet. That we will do on our day off. Compost bins. Oh, this was a new addition. Shallots. I've not done shallots before, so looking forward to these. These were put in about 4 days ago. I soaked them first. And they were from B&Q, so we'll see how they perform. I don't think there's anything new on this part of the garden. I'll go back through the gate. We talked about this beautiful plum tree the last time. It really was full, absolutely full of plums. You ran the risk of getting them splatting on your head. There's that other viburnum I was talking about. It's out in full flower there. I'll come back through the hedge. Now this is where, if you saw my mini film yesterday, this is what we reduced the height of through here. Through the back of the border again. And we're just going to take in all the crocuses coming up. This is silver grass called Morning Light. And then the lovely green heucheras. Now, after we took the hedge down yesterday, I had a phone call. And that phone call came as a bit of a shock to me because I am now in isolation for the next 7 days. I can't leave my property. So I think you poor unfortunate souls may get to have a video every day. I have to think of ways to keep myself occupied. Today I've done the seed giveaway and I've planned all that. I've got Mrs. Hooper's commission to work on, and I'm going to do a sign for myself and my chickens, catch up on seeding, making sure all the seedlings are okay. But I'm going to have to keep my mind active because the weather looks terrible for my isolation. So without further ado, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm going to have a chocolate brownie, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.